Yikes. First story of the day is about the Yellow Vest protests in France. I've talked about it a lot. It's very interesting. A bunch of people wore yellow vests, and they're protesting a lot of things. They're protesting unlivable conditions, high taxes, carbon taxes. Basically, they get taxed into oblivion out of the industrialized nations, or whatever like weirdo term they want to give them. To make it very simple, they get taxed a lot more than almost anyone else. So when you don't have money, believe it or not, I know there's all these theories, but if you don't have a lot of money and the government keeps taking more and more and more of your money, it actually doesn't help you. They're like, no, we're going to help you. Just give us 60% of your paycheck. Oh, yeah, gas is expensive, but what if we added a carbon tax that's not going to change the climate whatsoever, even with scientific studies? Like, there's no way that us stealing your money is going to change the climate of the earth, but if we tell you it is. Anyway, point being, Yellow Vest movement came out because people are tired of not having a lot of money in France, and it's apparently so bad that the left and the right united against Macron, because nobody likes Macron. He's a fake, phony bank puppet who pretended like he was a Democrat, sort of. Obama was like, vote for him. Rihanna was like, that's my friend. So once again, the Democrats, the media, the celebrity, elite class lied to you, deceived you. They told you that Macron was going to somehow run America. They're like, what if we had a leader like Macron? Well, then we'd be at a national crisis right now where no one had money and people were putting on yellow vests and burning down the country and divesting all their money from the banks. Anyway, doesn't sound that bad at the end of the day besides the burning. Anyway, yeah, total lie over there. The media lied, and Macron getting hit by both sides. The reason I want to talk about it today, I've covered it a lot of times. It's a continuous protest. It's like every Saturday and Sunday because it's actual working people. It's not a Democratic Party operative front where they pay a bunch of women to basically align themselves with like extremist jihadists and say that they're fighting for women's rights. I know, strange concepts, real protests that aren't funded by billion-dollar hedge fund guys who manipulate currencies in other countries. Anyways, sorry, I'm getting on a little tangent. I know Emily's mad. She's like, get to the point, Emily. Why am I even here? So they want to have a mass withdrawal. I guess depending where you're from. If you're Texas, you say withdrawal. If you're from Boston, you say withdrawal. AP reported that French protesters wanted to set off a bank run with mass withdrawals. Activists are saying that everybody needs to take their money out, stick it to the bank. One protester said, quote, "We're calling it a tax collectors referendum." She also went on to say, "We're going to get our bread back. You're making money with our dough, and we're fed up." So a lot of good puns there for someone who translated a French woman to English. We're going to go over that again and just maybe we're going to make Emily mad. We're going to study this pun for an hour. We're going to not move on and just study this pun. We're going to get our bread back. You're making money with our dough. We're fed up. So why this is cool, this is for Emily. It's going to be an hour-long segment. I'm joking. It's not going to be an hour long, but you know, we're going to get our bread back, making money with our dough, fed up. You know what I'm saying? You fed up, bread, dough. You get it, Emily? All right, we're going to move on. Thought it was funny. So the government is freaking out a little bit in France, although they're trying to remain calm because they can't figure out how to stop the Yellow Vest protests. They've done a lot of things. They're like, okay, we'll stop the carbon tax, and the Yellow Vests keep pushing. They're like, let's have a debate. Like the Macron's government official, I don't know his name, and he's not important enough to really look up. Sorry, my guy. If you're watching this, don't care about you. Macron's government official is saying that they're trying to make a big debate to calm people down. They're like, relax, Yellow Vest. Don't destroy the whole banking system on us here. Relax, guys. Let's have a debate about climate change and living conditions. And it's like, it's like Sesame Street over there. It's like, no one wants to do that. The Yellow Vests, they have a goal, and they're not fulfilling it. So that's their idea of a solution to stop it. They said, let's have a nationwide debate. Let's just talk it over, Yellow Vests. And they're like, no, we run France. Shout out to French people, man. French people get a bad rap in America a lot of times. People, you know, they make jokes here or there, but the French are going pretty hard. I'm impressed. Macron announced that he has a $10 billion euro, I'm going to translate this for Emily as well. 10 billion euros is actually 11.5 billion in American dollars. I know Emily, I saw the chat. She was like, Anomaly, can you stop and pause for 5 minutes and tell me how much 10 million in euros is, or 10 billion in euros, excuse me. 10 billion in euros is $11.5 billion USD. So I know Emily wanted to stop there. Macron wants to spend that money on measures to strengthening purchase power of French households. So isn't that great when the government says, you know how we can make it so you have more money? We'll spend 10 billion euros on making sure that your purchasing power goes further, because that makes total sense. I know somewhere on the left, I don't know from what element of it, I think from Democrat to progressive, that logic makes sense to them. We're going to get into it later. I don't understand it. I think the best way, call me crazy, call me conservative, but I think the best way to give people money is to not steal their money. I know it's a crazy concept. What if Macron, instead of spending 10 billion euros on purchasing power, like where's he going to spend that money? They take your money and then they say, we're going to help you with your, I'm going to get into it in my third segment. It's going to make a lot of people upset, but it's all going to be true. Just don't steal their money. Chill out with the carbon tax, stop taking 30, 40, 50, 60% of their paycheck, and then people will have purchasing power. You don't have to steal their money and then spend money. Oh no, we're gonna spend it on a nonprofit and the purchasing power is gonna go up. Good luck with that, Macron. The yellow vest. Sorry, I got a little ting today. I'm gonna slow it down for Emily. Take a minute here. But also, on top of that note, 60% of France's speed cameras were destroyed. So I guess they have little cameras, little snitch cameras in France that says, you're going too fast. You committed a Macron offense. You're doing what the government doesn't want you to do, and we caught you on camera. It's like 1984 style. They do that in America too. It's pretty creepy. Like 10, 20 years ago, we were like, imagine if they had cameras recording us like V for Vendetta and arresting us. And I watched V for Vendetta. And I was like, man, imagine if that ever happened, and it's like 10 years later it's happening and no one cares. But apparently they do in France. They destroyed 60% of the cameras, so the French government are cucks. If you guys don't know what cucks are, I'm going to slow it down. It's a term from I shouldn't be talking about this, but I am. It's a cuckold. It's when you don't want to have sex with your partner, so you let someone else do it. It's what they do in France, the government. They're saying, help us. How do we do it? How do we stop you? We're trying to give you everything, but you won't stop. And it's not working. So they're destroying all those stuff. They're rallying every week. They're withdrawing their money. And the French government just can't figure out what it is. They're like, why do people not like us? It's like one party that they're not invited to, they can't figure out why. Before I move on, let me try to think why the French people don't like it. Maybe the news has been lying. Maybe the media's been lying. Maybe the celebrities have been lying, the same ones that elected Macron and told you to vote for him. Maybe their whole life is a lie. Maybe when you go to the left, I know progressives are like, no, we're so different. We want to steal more of your money, but we know about the Iraq war. It's like, wow, so great. Yeah, thank you so much for telling the truth about the wars, but then still stealing more of my money. Oh yeah, I'm such a huge fan of your ideology. Anyway, something over there, they can't figure out why. It's like, maybe it's because stealing people's money doesn't work. A carbon tax doesn't work. Europe doesn't want to be micromanaged by Macron and Merkel and do terrible policy over mass migration that doesn't work from Islamic countries that are not really compatible in their ideology with Western laws and civilization. It's just true. They know it. I know it. You know it. As Trump would say, everyone knows it. It's basic common sense. And when you steal people's money, you bring in people from other countries and start taking your citizens' money and then adding all sorts of taxes and offering no solution for purchasing power, it's going to make people mad. Leftists are always mad because leftist policies don't work, so you have progressives mad there that high taxes don't work. You have liberal Democrats or whatever they call them, they are mad because Macron is not the puppet that they thought he was. And conservatives are perpetually mad too because leftists are destroying education, mass media, and pretty much everywhere they touch. I know, I wish it wasn't true. I know a lot of people are going to say, Conservatives are bad too, yeah, for sure. I'm not a big fan of conservative media, but we'll get into it with the third segment, why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be mean or biased. I'm just letting you know. France and Belgium and Europe and Canada and Brazil and United States, we're all going through a renaissance and a revolution, and it's for more reasons than you know. But I'm glad to see that they're going at the banks. That's something that we can both agree on. Before I move on, I want to say to my progressive friends who probably left the live stream already mad, maybe not, maybe they're joking and laughing with me, hopefully having a good time. If you did what the yellow vest did, I would maybe join you for some things. I've joined water protests before that I believe in, but don't take my money. If you want to withdraw your money from the bank, or maybe say like, hey, the Federal Reserve should pay their fair share or something, like maybe I'll get behind it, but the policies that they want to do that are like $1 trillion policies, they never do what the French people are doing, which is go at the banks. They say they're going to take my money and redistribute it. So I'm just saying, just a hint to both sides, like if you guys want to establish some sort of bank protest, I think it would go over better. And progressives did that to Wells Fargo in Los Angeles. I remember that. But anyway, just something to think about. The French yellow vesters are going wild over there. Pretty interesting stuff. Second story of the day is about our friend Jim Acosta at CNN.